In the vast, silent expanse of space, the USS Quantum Blade glided like a phantom through the darkness.
Captain June Park stood motionless, his dark eyes scanning the holographic display that flickered with incoming sensor data. The bridge was quiet, save for the soft hum of advanced technology and the rhythmic breathing of his crew. Lieutenant Kim's fingers danced across her communication panel, her movements precise and calculated. Suddenly, a massive shadow began to form on the long-range scanners. The alien Confederation's fleet was approaching, their massive ships blocking out entire sections of the starfield.
June remembered the briefings. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades.
Years of secret technology development, covert space exploration, and advanced military training had led to the single point of potential first contact. The alien Confederation was known for their aggressive expansion and complete subjugation of less advanced civilizations.
But they had never encountered humans before.
The ship's quantum drive pulsed softly, a testament to technological capabilities far beyond what most believed possible. Each system was a marvel of human engineering, adaptive algorithms that could predict and counter threats before they fully materialized.
Lieutenant Kim's voice broke the silence.
Multiple alien vessels approaching, Captain.
They're charging weapon systems. June didn't move.
His training had taught him that true power was demonstrated through calm control, not reactive aggression. The alien ships were massive, each one likely containing thousands of crew members, their technological systems considered invincible by galactic standards. The communication panel lit up.
An alien transmission began to translate a mixture of mathematical equations and aggressive posturing. They were demanding surrender, presenting their technological superiority as an undeniable fact.
June allowed himself a slight smile.
Superiority was always an illusion until tested. The USS Quantum Blade's crew was a carefully selected group.
Each member represented the pinnacle of human potential, not just in technical skills, but in adaptive thinking and strategic reasoning. They weren't just soldiers or scientists, they were humanity's best hope for showing the universe what humans could truly achieve.
Lieutenant Kim looked up from her panel. Captain, they're positioning for standard containment protocol. They expect us to be intimidated.
Of course they do, June responded quietly. The alien ships began to form a complex geometric pattern around the human vessel, a formation designed to restrict movement and demonstrate overwhelming force. Their energy signatures suggested weapons capable of reducing entire planetary systems to ash. What they didn't know was that the USS Quantum Blade represented something entirely different.
This wasn't just a warship. It was a message, a declaration of humanity's potential.
June's hand hovered near the tactical controls. Every movement was calculated, every potential response mapped out through countless simulation scenarios.
The bridge crew waited, their collective breath almost suspended in anticipation. The alien Confederation believed they understood everything about space warfare.
They had conquered hundreds of civilizations, absorbed countless technological systems, and considered themselves the ultimate arbiters of galactic hierarchy. They were about to learn how wrong they could be.
The USS Quantum Blade systems began to pulse with an energy that didn't match any known technological signature. It wasn't aggressive.
It was something more profound, a quiet, controlled potential that suggested capabilities far beyond simple destruction.
First contact was moments away.
And humanity was ready. Lieutenant Kim looked at her captain, a mixture of professional calm and barely contained excitement in her eyes.
They both understood what was about to happen. This wasn't just an encounter. This was a statement. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage.
And nothing would ever be the same again. The alien ships surrounded the USS Quantum Blade with calculated precision, their massive energy weapons charging simultaneously. Each vessel seemed designed to inspire terror, sharp metallic edges, pulsing energy signatures, and weapon arrays that could obliterate entire planetary systems. Captain June Park remained perfectly still, his hands clasped behind his back. Lieutenant Kim watched the incoming tactical data, her fingers hovering over the defense systems. The crew moved with a synchronized rhythm, each member understanding their precise role without unnecessary communication. The alien commander's transmission cut through the communication systems. The translation algorithm converted their complex language into simple words: surrender immediately.
Resistance is mathematically impossible.
June's lips curved into a slight smile. Mathematical certainty was a concept humans had long learned to challenge.
The first energy pulse erupted from the alien lead vessel, a massive wave of destructive potential designed to demonstrate overwhelming force. Any typical spacecraft would have been instantly vaporized. But the USS Quantum Blade was anything but typical. Lieutenant Kim's fingers touched the defensive systems.
The ship's quantum shields flickered, not with weakness, but with calculated absorption. The massive energy wave seemed to dissolve around the vessel, its destructive potential simply redirected. The alien ships paused. Their sensors showed something impossible. The human vessel hadn't just survived, it had seemingly absorbed their most powerful initial strike without a scratch. June watched the holographic display, noting how the alien formation momentarily lost its perfect geometric structure. Confusion. They were experiencing confusion. Defensive pattern Delta, June said quietly. The USS Quantum Blade began to move. But move was too simple a word. It shifted through space with a fluidity that defied conventional physics. One moment positioned in direct line of alien weapon arrays, the next moment existing in a completely unexpected coordinate. The alien ships started recalculating, their complex targeting systems struggling to track the human vessel's impossible movements. Each redirection was a mathematical impossibility, a dance of quantum mechanics that human engineers had spent decades perfecting. Lieutenant Kim's tactical display showed the alien ships becoming increasingly erratic. Their perfect formation was dissolving, replaced by reactive, almost panicked repositioning. Tracking systems compromised, she reported, her voice calm and professional. The USS Quantum Blade wasn't just avoiding weapons. It was demonstrating that the very concept of avoidance could be reimagined. Each movement was a statement. Humans didn't just adapt to technological challenges, they redefined them. The alien commander's next transmission carried a different tone. No longer confident. Now tinged with something close to confusion. Explain your navigation capabilities.
June didn't respond. Explanation wasn't necessary. Demonstration was. Another energy pulse erupted. The USS Quantum Blade didn't simply dodge. It seemed to fold space around itself, the weapon passing through where the ship had been milliseconds before. The maneuver was so smooth, so precise, that it looked almost like a magic trick. The crew moved with machine-like precision. No wasted movements. No unnecessary chatter. Each system worked in perfect harmony, a testament to years of training and technological development. Lieutenant Kim's fingers danced across her panel. Defensive systems weren't just protecting the ship, they were learning. Each alien weapon pulse was being analyzed, its energy signature mapped, its potential trajectory predicted and countered before it could fully form. The alien ships were beginning to understand they faced something entirely outside their technological comprehension. This wasn't just a different species. This was a completely different approach to existence. June watched the holographic display, his expression unchanged. This was more than a battle. This was humanity's first true introduction to the galactic community. And they were making quite an entrance. The silence of space was suddenly interrupted by a precision that defied imagination. Lieutenant Kim's targeting systems locked onto the alien support vessels with a cold, calculated accuracy that suggested something beyond standard military training. Captain June Park watched the holographic display, his eyes reflecting a calm that seemed almost supernatural. The alien confederation had spent centuries believing in their technological supremacy. Today, they would learn a different lesson. The USS Quantum Blade moved with a fluidity that challenged basic understanding of spaceship movement. Its quantum drive pulsed with an energy signature that didn't match any known technological standard. Where traditional spacecraft would require massive power expenditures for complex maneuvers, this vessel seemed to slide through space like liquid mercury. One by one, the alien support vessels found their critical systems going offline. Not destroyed. Precisely disabled. Lieutenant Kim's fingers moved across her panel with surgical precision. Each targeted system fell into a controlled shutdown. Navigation arrays, communication networks, weapon control mechanisms.
The aliens watched in growing horror as their most advanced technological achievements were systematically neutralized without a single explosive burst. "Selective disruption complete," she reported, her voice maintaining a professional neutrality. The alien commander's transmission burst through with a mixture of rage and disbelief. Their complex language translated into simple, desperate words: "How is this possible?" June didn't respond. Response wasn't necessary. Demonstration was everything. The USS Quantum Blade's weapon systems represented humanity's most advanced technological achievement. Unlike traditional military approaches that emphasize destruction, these systems were designed for precise control. Each pulse of energy was a message: "We can disable you completely, but we choose not to." 3 alien support vessels now drifted silently, their systems completely neutralized. No explosions. No massive destruction. Just a clinical, almost surgical shutdown that suggested capabilities far beyond conventional warfare. The remaining alien ships began to retreat. Their perfect geometric formation had dissolved into a chaotic scatter. Years of galactic conquests, centuries of technological development, all suddenly rendered meaningless by a single human vessel. Lieutenant Kim's tactical display showed the retreating ships. Each movement was now defensive, no longer aggressive. The predator had suddenly become the prey. June understood the psychological warfare happening in this moment. This wasn't just about military capability. This was about demonstrating a fundamental difference in approach. Humanity wasn't interested in total destruction. They were interested in controlled, precise intervention. The quantum drive hummed softly, a quiet reminder of technological potential that the aliens were only beginning to comprehend. Each system on the USS Quantum Blade represented decades of human innovation: adaptive algorithms, predictive technologies, quantum navigation systems that could predict and counter threats before they fully materialized. "Tactical demonstration complete," Lieutenant Kim reported. The alien confederation would spend years analyzing this encounter. Their best scientists would struggle to understand the technological principles demonstrated. How could a vessel move with such precision? How could weapon systems disable without destroying? How could an apparently smaller force demonstrate such complete control? June knew the answer was simple: human potential. The USS Quantum Blade continued its trajectory, leaving the disabled alien vessels as a silent testament to a new era of galactic interaction. No dramatic explosions. No unnecessary violence. Just a clear, precise demonstration of capabilities that would reshape every future encounter. Space returned to its previous silence. But everything had changed. Humanity had arrived. And the universe would never be the same again. The communication channels erupted with a mixture of alien transmissions, panic, confusion, and desperate attempts to understand what had just happened. Captain June Park remained calm, his hand hovering near the quantum communication array. One precise transmission cut through the chaos. A simple message that would become legendary across multiple star systems: withdraw or face complete elimination. The words were straightforward. No unnecessary threats. No dramatic posturing. Just a clinical statement of potential consequence. Lieutenant Kim monitored the alien fleet's responses. Their once perfect formation had collapsed into a scattered, defensive configuration. Massive warships that had conquered hundreds of civilizations now moved like frightened creatures, their advanced technologies suddenly feeling inadequate. The USS Quantum Blade's quantum drive pulsed with potential energy. It wasn't an aggressive pulse. It was a quiet reminder, a suggestion of capabilities that remained mostly unexplored. Each system on the ship represented generations of human innovation, adaptive technologies that could predict and neutralize threats before they fully formed. The alien commander's next transmission revealed complete breakdown. Their complex language translated into simple, desperate communication. They were asking for terms. Negotiation. A way to save face. June understood the psychological warfare happening in this moment.
This wasn't about destruction. This was about demonstrating controlled power. 2 additional alien support vessels found their critical systems systematically disabled. Not destroyed. Just neutralized. Each disabled system was a message: humanity could completely eliminate them, but chose not to. Lieutenant Kim's tactical display showed the remarkable precision.
Where traditional military approaches would have resulted in total destruction, these interventions were surgical. Each disabled system was a brushstroke, painting a picture of technological superiority that went beyond simple military might.
The alien fleet's retreat began in earnest.
Their massive vessels, which had once dominated entire star systems, now moved with a hesitation that suggested complete psychological defeat. They weren't just experiencing a military loss. They were experiencing a fundamental challenge to their understanding of technological superiority. June watched the holographic display, his expression unchanged. This encounter was more than a battle. This was humanity's first true introduction to the galactic community. The quantum communication array began processing the incoming transmissions. The aliens were requesting diplomatic communication, something they had never done in their centuries of galactic expansion. Their approach had always been conquest, not negotiation. Prepare standard first contact protocols, June instructed Lieutenant Kim. The instruction wasn't an aggressive command. It was a calm, professional direction that suggested something profound: humanity was in complete control of the situation.
The USS Quantum Blade systems continued to pulse with a quiet, controlled potential.
Each technological system was a marvel of human engineering, adaptive algorithms that could predict and counter threats before they could fully materialize.
Lieutenant Kim's fingers moved across her communication panel. The diplomatic response would be crafted with the same precision they had demonstrated in their tactical approach. No unnecessary aggression. No dramatic declarations. Just a clear, controlled communication that would reshape galactic understanding. The alien fleet continued its retreat, leaving behind disabled support vessels as silent witnesses to this encounter. No dramatic explosions. No massive destruction. Just a clinical demonstration of capabilities that suggested humanity represented something entirely new in the galactic ecosystem. Space returned to its previous silence. But everything had changed. Humanity had arrived. And the universe would never be the same again. The strategic superiority demonstrated wasn't just about military capabilities. It was about a fundamentally different approach to interaction, controlled, precise, and ultimately more sophisticated than centuries of alien conquest. Captain June Park allowed himself a slight smile. First contact had been made. And humanity's message was clear: we are not to be underestimated. The diplomatic communication center of the USS Quantum Blade hummed with quiet intensity. Captain June Park stood near the holographic display, watching as the first official communication with the Alien Confederation was being prepared. Lieutenant Kim worked meticulously, crafting a message that balanced firmness with a subtle invitation to further dialogue. The words would be carefully chosen, each sentence a calculated demonstration of humanity's approach to galactic relations. Days passed. The disabled alien vessels remained as silent witnesses to the encounter. Scientific teams began analyzing the technological marvel of the USS Quantum Blade's performance. Research centers across human space buzzed with excitement and anticipation. The Alien Confederation's leadership was in complete disarray. Their centuries of technological dominance had been challenged in a single encounter. Entire political systems were being re-evaluated. How could a seemingly young species demonstrate such advanced capabilities? Diplomatic channels began to open. Cautious transmissions revealed the depth of the aliens' confusion. They had expected a simple encounter, another civilization to be conquered or absorbed. Instead, they had encountered something entirely unexpected. June understood the broader implications. This wasn't just a military encounter. This was humanity's first true introduction to the galactic community. Every action, every communication would be analyzed, studied, and remembered. The quantum communication array processed incoming transmissions.
The aliens were requesting a formal diplomatic meeting. Their previous approach of conquest had been completely dismantled.
They wanted to understand. Lieutenant Kim prepared the initial diplomatic protocols.
Each document was a carefully crafted balance of openness and controlled potential. Humanity would engage, but on its own terms.
Research teams began deep analysis of the encounter. The USS Quantum Blade's technological capabilities were beyond anything the aliens had ever encountered. Adaptive systems that could predict and counter threats. Navigation technologies that defied conventional understanding. Weapon systems that could disable without destruction.
The galactic community watched with growing interest. Rumors spread across multiple star systems. A new player had arrived. And they were unlike anything seen before.
Diplomatic representatives from Earth began preparing.
This wasn't just a military encounter. This was a moment that would define humanity's future in space. Every word, every gesture would be carefully considered.
The Alien Confederation's research teams worked frantically. They analyzed every millisecond of the encounter, trying to understand the technological principles demonstrated.
But human innovation remained several steps ahead.
June reviewed the initial diplomatic communications.
The message was clear: humanity was open to dialogue, but would not be intimidated. They were offering a hand of cooperation, but with a quiet reminder of their demonstrated capabilities. Lieutenant Kim's tactical systems continued monitoring the surrounding space.
The disabled alien vessels remained as a silent testament to the encounter. No dramatic destruction. Just a precise demonstration of potential.
The first official diplomatic meeting was scheduled.
Representatives from Earth would meet with the Alien Confederation's leadership. It would be a moment that would reshape galactic understanding. Humanity had arrived.
Not through conquest.
Not through aggression.
But through a demonstration of controlled, precise potential that challenged everything the galactic community thought they understood. Captain June Park allowed himself a slight smile.
First contact had been made.
And humanity's message was clear: we are here.
We are different.
And we will be understood on our own terms.
The USS Quantum Blade continued its trajectory through space. A silent messenger. A technological marvel. A promise of something entirely new in the galactic community. Space remains silent.
But everything had changed.